Thank you for joining us tonight. This is your Pro Spec Top 10 list. We're going to get right into it right now with number 10.
Something is Killing the Children, number 13. This book recently came out, I think maybe like a couple months ago, probably no more than 6 weeks ago, to refresh my memory. In the guts of this book, we have the first appearance, I would say, of Erica's monster. I think some people are calling it the Golden Dragon, not to be confused with the Old Dragon, the leader of the St. George. This is the actual first appearance, last page panel of Erica's monster that's trapped inside Octo, her little sock puppet octopus. This is a very important book in which I don't want to spoil it for too much, but I think that has legs for the long term. Right now, it's a cover price book. I think I saw one go for maybe $10 recently, and I've seen them go below cover. I went to the comic shop today, saw them all through the shelves, a few in the back bins. So I would highly suggest this. There's also variants to this book. Great pick.
Yeah, and I was super excited to see Erica's monster and learning a little bit more about that. And it got me really hyped into the series to see what's going to happen in the next issue. And then,
yeah,
especially with the story arc coming close to an end.
Totally agree. I mean, it's an important part of her origin.
Does that character make their first appearance on the Jay Lee variant from number 1? Is that where we see that character for the first time?
Yes. So the first cover appearance of Octo is the Jay Lee cover. That cover, I believe, was open order. There's also a sketch cover that's way more rare. But let's take the sketch one out. Of all the covers, all the variants, store variants, late printings or what have you, the Jay Lee cover is the only one I've seen, to my knowledge, that has Octo on there. And when you get in 13 and you get into 14, actually when you get from the whole series, but when you get to 13 and 14, you understand how important Octo is, and that's why you bring that up. That's a great point. That Jay Lee cover is a very important cover, and once collectors, investors find that out, that cover could explode. So that's an opportunity right there.
All right, look for that one on the list somewhere in the future. On to number 9.
So this is Ice Cream Man number 8, and with Haha being super popular, this is definitely a book that you should have if you're an Ice Cream follower or Ice Cream Man follower. And the writer writes for both series, and then there's rumors of connecting the series together. Even if you read the storyline, he's even referenced when he's thrown over the bridge as Mr. Haha.
I mean, it was out there, was speculated on or what have you, that this was actually the clown from the first issue of Haha. So yeah, that's great. And plus, I remember when this issue first dropped, I bought it off the rack. I mean, it immediately caught the attention of many other collectors. I remember at one point it was like a $35 book or something in that area. So, I haven't seen numbers on this book. I'm imagining that the orders are probably under 20,000, probably under 15,000. You have to double check that.
All right, to number 8.
Okay, so this one we have Fantastic Four 185. You will actually have multiple first appearances in this book. You have the first appearance of Nicholas Scratch. Nicholas Scratch is actually a warlock and the son of Agatha Harkness. And multiple people are basically speculating that the rabbit they're calling Mr. Scratchy turns out to be Nicholas Scratch. So that rabbit probably is going to end up being Nicholas Scratch, Agatha or Agnes' son in a later episode or what have you. And not to mention there's a second first appearance in there. There's a first full team appearance of the Witches of New Salem.
Why don't we move on to number 7? All right, this is Department of Truth number 1, the 1 in 25 variant. Aaron, what do you got on this book?
Yeah, so this is a beautiful In-Huck Lee cover, and especially with the news dropping that Department of Truth is going to be becoming a TV show, I think this is a grossly undervalued book. Earlier this week, it was $20. When the news dropped, it's going, they're selling for $20 to $50 right now. And so, if you can pick it up at 20 for a 1 in 25 ratio, I don't think it's a bad play.
Yeah, this is a really good value pickup, I think. A super popular series. For a 1 in 25 to be able to grab at these prices, something you should be scooping up. Why don't we move on to number 6?
So here we have Black Panther number 3, and this is from the 1998 series. In the Guts, in story, is the first appearance of Achebe or Akebe. Basically, I just read this for the first time, but what I know about this book is just that he was a brilliant guy who basically lost his mind, is psychotic. And you find out later that he sold his soul to the devil, or in continuity, it's Mephisto. I know orders are low on this book. I believe last I checked, they were under 47,000. You might want to check, or not low, but moderate, I should say, under 47,000. Could be even lower since it's the number 3 issue. But the last time I checked, I believe it said 47. Double check that. Also, there is a newsstand copy available for this book. Keep an eye out for that book. So for that newsstand copy. So if this character gets pegged and it goes on your hunt list, when it in that box where it says direct edition, as long as that direct edition's gone, or that 59606 in the UPC SKU is gone, changed, it's probably a newsstand. Grab it up, swoop it up. Great pick.
Good pick. Here we go. On to number 5. So Miss Marvel, right? We all know that she is coming to Disney Plus. One of the heavyweights from Marvel's young characters. This was a qualifier, a difficult book to pick up. Right now you can probably find it for 60 to 75. It's probably not going to stay there very long. This is number 1 of her own series. When I think about some of the biggest characters that are coming down the pike for Marvel, Kamala Khan is at the very, very top of the list. We all know she's got her own TV show. And by all accounts, that's not going to be a one and done deal. That's going to be a reoccurring series. So super excited about the character, super excited about this book.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you brought up some great points, and for our listeners, this is Miss Marvel number 1 from the 2014 series. Like Ben was saying, the first solo title. CGC marks the guts of this book as Kamala Khan becomes Miss Marvel. There is some debate to that. Ben could probably touch more on it on Roundtable after or what have you, but that's how CGC labels it. Also, in the guts or in story of this book, there's another first appearance, which is Zoe Zimmer. She's I guess you could say, a bully type character that eventually becomes friends down the line with Kamala Khan. And she was just recently casted into the D+ series, which could actually add a little more fuel to this book. I know most fans don't really care for the normies or especially the new normies, so to speak. But, you never know. The actor that was casted could have personality and could add to Kamala and her abilities. On the qualifier, I don't really know how rare this is based on this qualifier, due to the fact that retailers had to exceed orders of Mighty Avengers number 2 from 2013, and then they were able to order as many as they wanted of this cover. But as far as I'm concerned, I've been looking for this book for at least 4 years, and I've only found one high grade copy that's within budget. So great pick.
Number 4.
Okay, so this is a case of, yes, you need to judge a book by its cover. So we have Black Panther number 6 from the 2009 series. Now, at this time, Shuri is the Black Panther, and this is a 1940s homage to the era variant. It's a 1 in 10. This cover is an absolute standout. Marvel did themes as far as decades, and this one, and a lot of those kind of homage to the era variants, they were just kind of funny, light, cheeky. But this one has this one packs the punch. This one has all of the action. It's intense. If you compare it to other covers from this theme, this is definitely the standout. And the price on this, the buy-in is probably less than $20. This thing is really affordable. I remember coming across this book years ago, and it was dirt cheap, and it's slowly starting to come into its own.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff, Carter. You know what's always caught my eye on this book is the trade dress. I don't know what it is, but it catches my eye every single time I see it. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Let's go on to number 3.
All right, so we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man, number 18. This is actually the second print. My peers, teammates, and I vote on these picks, what have you. I was aggressive on this pick due to the fact that in the weeks to come, we have the Clone Story arc or saga, the Clone Saga, that will be continued by Salman Ahmed and with Miles Morales and the Assessor and probably Ultimatum, what have you. Well, I like this 18 because this is the first full appearance of the clone. You actually get the reveal of what the clone is and what happens to the clone, so on and so forth. Plus, this is a great cover. It has the clone on the cover, in which as much as I like the cover A and the Raza and the one per store 81st Happy Birthday Marvel variant, I think this is by far the best cover. I think I believe last time I checked, the orders were under 3,500, probably closer to 3,100. I think this could be the winner of all the covers. What do you guys think?
I really like this cover as well, Richie. If I'm not mistaken, this is interior art, right? And interior art oftentimes gets a bad rap, I think, in these covers, but this one really works exceptionally well. It pops. It's powerful. I absolutely love it. All right, on to number 2. What do you got, Steve?
Well, I've got Half Price Crook. His pick, and I'm just jealous because we've been talking through the weeks as a group, and you've been our viewers have been seeing, hey, we've seen the 80s franchises. What are the 90s franchises? We've identified Power Rangers and Turtles. And Pokemon's got to be, and Sonic we've talked about, but Pokemon's got to be another one of those 90s franchises. So this is the first Pikachu and the first Ash. Now this is tough to identify because there's been 16 printings of this book.
Wow.
And there's actually a great post. I love to give credit where credit's due. There's a username Quayar, QALYAR, did a post on the CGC boards on this, and apparently there was a sampler included with a VHS tape that was this book, but it cut off halfway. It was like a sampler. But no matter what's the case, I couldn't even find the first print in the census. I don't think anyone's, and I know these were printed. I mean, who knows, how many hundreds of thousands of even the first printings exist. But apparently no one's actually graded a first print of the Electric Tale of Pikachu, which is this book. And got to think with what we've seen with Power Rangers, Sonic, some of the other books that we've mentioned, that this will someone's going to be first to market, unless I've totally missed something with CGC, and I'm sure someone will get down into the guts of this and figure out, how do you tell if it's the first print? I believe the one that came with the VHS tape does have some trade dress that says, included with this VHS tape. But this is I can see this catching some heat. We've seen some crazy things in the past 12 months, and I think this is the next crazy thing.
Well, look at Pokemon cards. I mean, they're
Yep.
on literally fire. I mean, I know that's a whole separate thing, but
Yep.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right, here's our top pick of the week.
This one's a no-brainer. Contest of Champions number 1 in 25, Lionel Francis U variant. This is a book that I've loved for years. I remember when it first came out. This is probably 2015 or something like that. And like just right out of the gate, I think this book was it was a moderate hit.
White Fox. I mean, I think that's what really drives this issue. She's right front and center here on the cover. You know, what I would say is there's some misinformation floating around that this is her first and only cover appearance. That's not true. There is a open order book where she appears as well. But if you're really specking on her,
This is the best cover.
This is the one to get. This is absolutely the one to get. Listen, I think she's going to have a major role. We just saw her show up in the most recent Taskmaster book, and super attractive. Number one, I'd be grabbing this if you saw it out there.
This book is going for what, $40 to $50 right now?
Yeah, I would say a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I haven't bought it in a while. When I picked it up, it was 30, 35. I feel like it's higher than that now. If you see it for 40, grab it, run, don't talk to anyone, just get out the door.
I personally have never found it. I've been looking for it. When did War of Realms New Agents Atlas 1 drop? July of 2019. So that's when how that long I've been looking for it. So almost a year and a half, 2 years. Because I wasn't familiar with White Fox, but now I am, and she's a part of New Agents of Atlas. So, long story short, yes, this is definitely on my list, and I will definitely be going to buy this book.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. Please tune in next week for our next episode. We'll catch you soon. Thank you very much.